All right, Coach, from one of the loudest venues in the NFL, there's a look at Arrowhead Stadium here in Kansas City. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Cleveland Browns and the Kansas City Chiefs. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Down, 60 yards.
Tight ends Ringo, tight ends on Ringo, tight ends on Ringo.
Take go.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. He'll drop to throw. Looking here for Smith downfield. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marcus Williams. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. He's coming off a 3-interception performance last week, so certainly not how he wanted to start here.
Not at all, but this is where a quarterback gets tested. This is where we find out what he has underneath that jersey, because he had a bad game last week. Can he shake off a bad start to this one and start to perform at the level he expects?
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now they try the right side here. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. A big play there. His 19th touchdown now on the season as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now a 7-0 game. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. It's a 2nd down run with Sanders. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down, pick it up, and keep moving.
Let it.
Here's a quick throw caught by Smith. That goes for a Chiefs first down, 14 yards. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Sione Takitaki in there to bury him for a loss of 11.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Ready.
Well, they're in some hot water now after that sack. It's 2nd and 21. And now a timeout called defensively by the Browns. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Well, they're in some hot water now after that sack. It's 2nd and 21.
Tighten up.
Topper.
He's checking crab. Switch.
Fire.
They'll drop to throw. Escaping the pressure right. Airing it out deep for Smith. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe you want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive.
Watch the ship. Hey, watch the ship. Rush in.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively. But instead it just brings up 4th down. Here's the Chiefs punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Fielded at the 20. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. The Browns drive about to get started. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. He'll be here before you know it. Mahomes hit, he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Chiefs. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
I know that taking care of the football is something that's drummed into every guy who plays this position. No matter what, whether he's running it, in the pocket, out of the pocket. But it's almost surprising to me that there aren't more fumbles by that position because of the way that they get attacked on each and every play.
Yeah, well, he had the fumble last week. Now here's 2 weeks in a row with a fumble loss.
Concentration has got to be there, and he's got to understand how much time he has to take care of a play. And maybe his clock is off just a little bit.
Check three.
And he'll give it here to his running back. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. He may try and run. And it's a fumble. And it's picked up by the Chiefs. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
Set 70. Indy.
Check 31. Check 26. Check 20.
Rock it. Let's go.
They'll run. It's Sanders. And he won't get much. maybe a couple. Down inside the 35 to the 34.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here's 2nd and 8. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. The turnover put them in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
And he comes back with one complete. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
The field goal unit's going to stay put on the sideline. They're going to go on 4th down here.
Five.
Mike 14. Mike 14. There's a party now.
Going for it with Sanders. And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one. A first trip to the red zone for KC. 1st and 10 right at the 20.
Slam. Kill. Turn up. Kill. Turn up. Check three. Kill.
Right back to Sanders on 1st down. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game. And that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
His throw caught at about the 5. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a 1st down. This will be their first trip to the red zone. They've got it 1st and goal to go.
Come on, set. 60 or.
Get that ball. Watch twitch.
X3. 218. Chopper.
They'll run with Sanders. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the 6. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
And how about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield, and spills the play.
And he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that.
Alert 3. Watch out.
And he'll take this one down inside the 5 to the 3. They get 3 yards closer, but still work to do. It's 3rd and goal.
A lot can go wrong when you call a play like this down in the red zone, but that's where you appreciate this from your head coach. He's not afraid to trust his guys to do the right thing, and as a player, that means an awful lot.
Now on 3rd down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
So if you're an offensive coordinator and you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work, aren't you? You got to find a way to unlock the key to these defenses and put some big points on the board.
The Browns drive about to get started. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You've got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
And the Chiefs showing a dime look as they defend this third down.
Check.
And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. It'll be a gain of 5, and the punt team will now come out on 4th down.
On that last run, he's now hit the 6,000-yard mark for rushing yards in his career.
And moves him squarely into the top 100 rushers of all time. In fact, he can boast that he's rushed for over 1,000 yards more than Gale Sayers did in his career. And Gale Sayers was a Hall of Famer in a short career.
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
This quarterback now 5 out of 10, 50% throwing it. Not so hot, but he does have a first down.
Hey, we got 4. We got 4 down. 4 down.
Steve Griffin.
They're going to look to throw. That's complete to Jack Doyle, the tight end. First down for the Chiefs. Solid chunk of yardage, 17 on the play.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the ball, as we just saw there.
That throw good for 4. It's second down. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his. What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL.
Mike 14, Mike.
Hey, Echo.
Right here. Mike 14. Mike 14.
Back to throw here. The open man is Smith. First down for the Chiefs. Solid chunk of yardage, 17 on the play. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Mack Wilson in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year. Sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is second and long.
Mike 14. Mike 14.
Yo, go. Bravo.
14 is the Mike. Not here. Mike 14. Mike 14.
They'll set up a throw. And the pressure gets to him again. Mack Wilson. What a season he continues to have. His 15th sack of the campaign.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
Mike 14. Mike 14.
Ready?
Now back to throw. And that is incomplete. So a couple of first downs on this drive, but it's looking like another empty possession.
And those empty possessions are certainly starting to pile up. So the adjustments that teams talk about all the time have to be taking place. They've got to analyze what's breaking down and figure a way to fix it.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The Browns drive about to get started. You're under a minute to go here in the half. Field position not really in your favor, but still time to try and move the ball and get in field goal range.
Yeah, you got the lead. It's definitely a thought. Let's go ahead and try and increase it. But at the same time, I don't like the odds. I don't like where they are in the field. Got the lead. They've done well in the first half. Don't mess it up and go into halftime looking at each other wondering what if.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. Flush to his right. And incomplete there, almost picked off. That's one you maybe expect your roaming free safety to come up with. But it's 2nd down. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Looking to throw is Mahomes. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. Here's Sam Martin now, standing just about on his own goal line. He'll send this one into the Midwestern air, and it's a good one. This is Archer. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
They start on the ground here at Sanders. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. They'll throw now on the final play. And this one complete to Smith. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. So a very tight first half. We had to break in a 1-point game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. This fielded at the 2. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the 3rd quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their play.
He's got daylight. And all the way in. and touchdown, Cleveland. A great effort there with touchdown number 20 on the year, and the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. Point after, right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. They'll set up to throw. Finding Green complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Give him 15 yards on that one. Kansas City has a first down. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. He'll look to throw. It's caught. Smith. And he's going to get this inside the 30. It'll go as a gain of 10 and a Kansas City first down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down. So 5 plays on this drive, Charles. All passes, all completions. And just like that, they're in the red zone.
And don't you think the playbook opens up a little bit more now? Because all they've done is throw the football. If you want to run it now, you may very well have them fooled.
On first and 10, it's Sanders. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. A great play there. Hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season as his guys have cut the lead down to 2. Andy Reid never one to shy away from taking chances. He'll go for 2.
Any weapon. Hurry, hurry. Hey, zoom.
Check.
61, matchbox lights. Go.
They'll look to throw. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete.
They made the decision to go for 2. They didn't get it. They remained down by 2 points. Should they have kicked it there?
A third quarter, I'm okay with it. Maybe first or second, you don't. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, again, I keep coming back to I don't like to chase a lot of points, but I also don't know what kicking an extra point being down 1 does for me.
The Browns drive about to get started, and they hit the home run last drive. 1 play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time jaunt? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Just what the Browns needed there. Good for a gain of 17.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Yellow. Yellow.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Brings up second and 11 at the Chiefs' 45-yard line.
Mahomes going to pull it out and keep it himself. And give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain.
A gain of 10 brings up 3rd and inches.
Yellow.
He's not going to get me.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Brings up 2nd and a yard.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. And he'll give it here to his running back. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation.
As much football as we watch, we've seen this work many times. In the red zone, first down, take a shot at the end zone, and points result. In this case, though, give credit to the defense. They outguessed them, were prepared, and intercepted the pass.
It'll be Sanders to begin the drive. And he will double the space they have to work with as they take it from the 2 to the 4.
Well, not a game that you're going to go crazy about, but when you start at your own 2-yard line, any type of space is good for the offensive guys.
Yeah, you just can't go backwards from here. They did it. Now we'll see if they can keep it on schedule here on 2nd down. They'll run with Sanders. And they'll hit him for a loss as he's back to his 2-yard line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
The Chiefs on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. The Chiefs on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 9.
Hey, Charlie.
Check nickel.
You're out.
Check it backer. Kill.
Back to throw now in his own end zone. Looking here for Smith downfield. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man-on-man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
And they won't get a chance to bring this one back. It goes out of bounds, back near their own 20.
At their own 22-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they do the interception and finish off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
At the 27-yard line.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
He's coming. Let's go, baby.
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
Yellow. Come on, Eddie.
Come on. Tackles.
Mahomes going to pull it out and keep it himself. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 3rd and 10. From the gun, it's Mahomes. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And it's Chiefs football. 1st and 10. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13.
Mike 7.
2nd and 13. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. They'll look to throw here. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
Well, Brandon, there's no question who they're going to look to on 3rd and long, but you can bet this defense knows that as well, so they've got him blanketed downfield. And this ball winds up being intercepted.
Now a handoff looking right. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. A good pickup there for the Browns, 15 yards. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Right back to him on 1st down. He's got the first down inside the 10. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. A great effort there. His 19th touchdown now on the season. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. A try here for the extra point. And that makes it a 9-point game. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive.
Hey, Alpha.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Right, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And that's complete. It's Green here. An 11-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Chiefs first down. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. The throw over the middle taken in. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Looking to throw. Flushed out right. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Myles Garrett in there to take him down, and the clock will roll.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
That one good for 17 as they're set up better now for third down. So look at this. They'll go for a field goal now to get within a score. This to get it back to a one-score game. And this one is right down Broadway. And that'll move him back within 6 now. So he remains perfect, 3 for 3 in the field goal department.
And it's so important for any offense to have an ace like him up their sleeve, isn't it? Because now you know what his range is, and as soon as your offense gets there, you're pretty much counting on 3 points going up on the board.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Browns drive about to get started. And this game not quite in hand yet. We'll likely see all 3 timeouts defensively and then reassess where we are. The run there on first down, going to get him 5 up to the 30. The Chiefs now going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Now they try the right side here. And he's got room. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So some holding over on the left side of that O-line.
And I know for the guys trying to move those big defensive people, they'd love for them to stay in one spot. But they move around so quick and so fast that sometimes you just have to grab them.
Now a handoff looking right. And that play goes nowhere. He's met behind the line, and a penalty flag may add insult to injury. And this third down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. Mahomes to throw. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. Around the NFL, 4th quarter right now in Atlanta. And not much trouble for the 49ers in that when they open the lead a bit further. If they hold on, it would be win number 10 for them on the year. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. Critical condition here, obviously. Got to hope to get something quick right and then maybe take that shot deep.
And once they do take the big shot, you've got to worry on defense. Of course, no one getting behind the defense and make...
That's caught at the 25. Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. And he's in for the touchdown, and barring a miracle, the extra point can win this football game. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to his second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Browns drive about to get started. Look at the clock. Everyone knows the situation. Probably time here for one final play.
And we know what that play is going to be. It's got to be some sort of Hail Mary, throwing it towards the end zone and hoping someone can catch it or catch it off of a tip. Think back to 2015. Didn't we see Green Bay pull that off twice in the season? Once in the regular season, once in the playoffs. So stranger things have happened. It'd be interesting to see what the defensive strategy is about who they put on the field to try and knock that ball away.
And a 6-yard gain gets them right around the 43. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. You're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for the Chiefs, they just keep on rolling as they move to 9-2 with a win here. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Oakland Raiders. Meanwhile, for the Browns, it's a disappointing way to lose your first game as they drop to 10-1 now on the year. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Baltimore Ravens. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.